John is now looking back on last night's action. TalkSPORT's voice of live football, Adrian Durham. Adrian, good morning.
Good morning.
Alan, Ali, first of all, before we talk Chelsea-Newcastle, I want to congratulate Aberdeen for making it to the Scottish Cup final, Hampden Park, May the 25th. After the draw for the semis last night, it's either Rangers or Hearts to play Aberdeen in that final. So congratulations to the Dons.
Oh, you mean that team has got no manager now, no news left, so in total disarray. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Green and white ribbons on the cup again.
I think you're right, Ed. I think you're looking at a similar cup final to the League Cup final.
Well, Rangers are going to get there. You got Rangers reserves, didn't you? You're going to get there, that's for sure.
Oh dear me, he's worried,
Ed.
I'd
love
it. Get the plane ready. Get the plane ready. Adrian, you still there? Have you fallen off your chair?
I am still here.
Ed, what about last night, mate? I sat and watched the game, thoroughly enjoyed it. A few great goals. And we're now talking about Chelsea, the possibility of a European spot. Is that realistic?
Yeah, I think it is realistic because they're not actually that far off. But I think there's a more long-term plan with Chelsea. If you look at what was happening last night, they scored some great goals, won the game, the fans went home happy. But there's no way the finished article. 3-2 flattered Newcastle, by the way. Chelsea should have seen the game off much sooner than they did. When Sterling was subbed off, Chelsea's oldest player was Disasi, aged 26. That's the oldest player on the pitch. They're so young. Gusto's 20, Palmer's 21, Jackson, Enzo, both 22, Casado's 23, Mudryk 23. They could grow into something special. The one thing that might change that course is Pochettino. I've questioned him this season, still questioning him as well. He came out and said before the game, if the players aren't happy with him, they should go and talk to the owners. Well, we know at Chelsea, that's something that's happened in the past. Last night, he had a lively exchange with Sterling on the touchline first half, subbed him in the second half. So you wonder what's going on there. You wonder why Poch has come out and said that. But I thought we saw last night the makings of what could be a special Chelsea side in the years to come because they're so young. They did play some good stuff. Mudryk's goal was fantastic. Palmer's goal was brilliant. And they've turned him into a possibility for England's Euro squad at Chelsea. So I think there's some positives there.
I'm glad you brought that up, Adrian, because they are a young side. And I think Poch, listen, I don't know him as well as Ozzy or dealers, but I speak to Ozzy and he said, just give him a chance. He's a workaholic. He'll be first in there, last to leave. He loves his football. Give him a chance. And I hope they do, Adrian.
And I think there's some Chelsea fans who still refer back to him being manager for Tottenham, and I get that as well. We all get rivalry. But around Stamford Bridge on match day, the fans actually like him. He's well liked at the football club on match days. When things are going wrong, there are some that will level the Spurs thing at him. But I think if he gets it right, I think they will get on board and get behind him. What I do think as well, having listened to the show for the first hour from Cheltenham, you guys are doing brilliant. You've got Newcastle totally and utterly wrong the way you've read it, honestly.
Ed, what about some of the Newcastle fans on last night? Ed and Big Al and I blasted him out of the water. They're saying Eddie this and Eddie that. He's got to be given time, surely. Ed, I've said all along, Newcastle work in progress. They'll take 2 steps forward, 1 back, 2 forward, maybe a couple back. Surely, that's a lot of nonsense talking about his job, surely.
Well, I do think you've got it wrong. They're away to City. They're still in the FA Cup, but for how much longer? They're away to City Saturday night. They struggled to get past Blackburn.
You just got out of your bed. You just woke up. Is he having a go at you, Ali?
Well, he just got it wrong. Here's the reality. Listen to this, right? They're 10th in the table. No team, listen to this stat, no team in the Premier League has conceded more goals away from home than Newcastle. Just let that sink in for a second. They've conceded 32 goals on the road. That's the same as Sheffield United. It's more than Burnley, it's more than Luton, more than Forest. That's more significant than people might think. The Saudi owners have been made well aware that the travelling fans at Newcastle are brilliant and they need to be kept happy. Losing 9 of 14 away, shipping goals for fun on the road, that's not a positive for Eddie Howe. You talk about the high-tempo press, takes its toll when it's an injured squad, and other people have got injuries as well, by the way. Do something different then. Don't have a high-tempo press. Is that all you've got as a coach?
Ed, if you'd asked Newcastle fans a year ago, would they be happy in the Champions League playing Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund, they'd have bitten your hand off, mate. Come on.
Well, hang on. Winning 1 out of the 6 group games and finishing bottom, it's fine. They had a great day out beating Paris Saint-Germain. The rest of it wasn't anything to write home about. This stage last season, Newcastle were on a run of 5 straight wins. They'd just won 5-1 at West Ham. They were third in the table. They had 13 more points than they have now. And yes, injuries. But you can't be managing Newcastle with this ownership and go that far backwards in 12 months. It's just not on.
Well, you just go back to bed with your Aberdeen scarf on and keep watching that pub league that Posh are in, right?
He started off really well.
I know.
Off really well.
And he's going to turn around and say Arsenal win the league next as well.
I think they will win the league, Arsenal. I said it last night. They're playing better than the other two.
Magic.
TalkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. TalkSPORT.